DM. We'll spare you the 20-minute version that had a lot of stuff that wasn't really relevant to what happened in the last session. Uh, so we got to, well, where we're kind of at is the start of it. We were finishing up our personal calls and stuff like that to our loved ones. I finally got a hold of Myra, despite not knowing her number. Um, and there was no answer or anything like that. And I kind of like poured it all out there, what I tried to do for it, everything like that, and then had to apologize that it didn't work out. But basically, the timetables moved up, and we're leaving. I talked to my dad, promised to visit him with Myra when I get back, uh, if I get back and survive all this nonsense. um, we're introduced to Rowan Verman and Sug, who is like our military escorts. They run us through a thing with the pulse weapon they have and all that kind of stuff. Like kind of hazmat suits, the air filters, helmets, stuff like that. Just kind of let us know what we're going to expect. We get on our transport. Verman, I think, is the pilot of it. Before we get there, what's his name? The little Rowan who was Mercer's assistant. I probably have his name somewhere, but he's not important, DM. He's just some assistant. Cass isn't looking out for a little guy like that. He comes out, gives me the phone. It's Myra. We say we love each other and kind of put it all out there because I figure Cass is kind of like this is a bit worrisome, this whole thing. Like, he's tried hard not to let it get to him, but he's not a soldier. He's not like he's very comfortable inside his comfort zone of expertise. Getting outside of it's a little unnerving, but he can also turn that off pretty well because, trauma surgeon and all that kind of stuff. Like he could do all that. So a miniature Chinook-looking helicopter takes us out. We run into problems in the 6-hour flight. Lyria gets really sick. She gets airsick. Miriam falls right asleep, and Cass falls asleep eventually as well. This place is just awful. Like, like imagine Hoth was like a hellish hellstorm of fire and brimstone. Like it's Hoth levels of awful, only a different kind of extreme. So we make this really long walk to get to our original landing zone, and I kind of re-energize Miriam and Lyria, and I was going to do the other guys, but they seemed like they were okay. And then, so we start trek to the actual village where we're supposed to do the rendezvous. So like we got to the landing point, had to walk there. It was awful, absolutely terrible. No one in this place. People were upset all the time. We make our way to this small town. It's like 15 cottages made of stone, and little red veins of what looks like lava running through the ground was kind of a key standout feature that comes out a little bit later. There's a guard that meets us, and he introduces to what seems like a tribal elder of sorts. I say elder, she's like maybe in her late 50s, but her face looks really worn. So for all we know, like given the way this atmosphere is here, everything like that, she could be like 25 years old and just look really hard. So we have our first interaction. She kind of lays down the law, the rules, and everything. And Cass is like, he's like, I'm here. I'll follow your rules and everything like that. I don't want to make anything upset, but let's just do this. Let's get to work. And she says that they should go down the well to see something she has to show us. It's implied that like that's where the plague victims are. So Cass is like, okay, Lyria, go get some samples from the water supply, and then we'll start trying to figure out what the heck's going on, because he's still operating on the assumption this is like some third world problem because they have no modern medical technology, that they need someone down there, and he's expecting this to be a really widespread disease, like it's something that's kind of sweeping through. The woman corrects him, says that everyone's going down, so he's like, okay, everyone's going down. Like he's there to get this done with the guise of not making an international incident, despite the player making a couple jokes about that. Like Cass wants this to go smooth and wants a positive outcome for this for both sides. Yeah, don't heal him without permission was one of the big things. Was he was about to heal that woman's limp, and he was glad I didn't after the fact. We go down to the well, walk down this dark corridor. There's a large rusty metal door and a guard there. We get let through. Then there's a more modern, technical-looking door. We go through there, and then we get introduced to this huge, like underground city kind of thing. It looks like it houses 100,000 people. Yeah, that's what I learned later. Um, yeah, there's like all kinds of like craziness with this. Like there's this huge promenade with people kind of looking at us, and everyone's giving us these hard looks, and it's just kind of getting old at this point. And I said like in the recap video I did that was like 20 minutes long, that, you know, these people, like it's kind of like that M. Bison quote where the day that I invaded your village is the most important day of your life. But to me, it was just Tuesday. Like these people still holding to the war, like, you know, we're these outside monsters and everything like that. And it's like we don't even think about you people, you know. It's like you like forged your life on bitterness and resentment and anger, and it's like for us, you know, it's not something that just comes into play. Like we don't even think about you guys. Now he didn't say that, but he definitely thought that. Like this is something that they're holding on to. But you know, on the other hand, it's like if it fuels them to make these great advancements, then more power to them. Proxy 5 is kind of the woman we're introduced to. She is kind of like the equivalent of a Rowan, I think, for maybe not even an agent, but like a kind of like an envoy of sorts. She basically gives us the tour as we're making our way to our room. She explains a little bit about the government, about the magnate, the sub and prime magnate, that they want to meet with us. She does. It is mentioned she is an agent of the government, but I just didn't picture her quite the same as like one of the other agents. Like she's more of a facilitator, which I guess Mercer kind of was in a sense too, and so was Gorian. But yeah, the streets are marked by weird statues. We're on person spider hybrid, which, you know, like given mythology, human mythology at least, like the spider usually has to do with like deception and trickery and stuff like that. So like I don't know if that applies here or anything, but it was an interesting choice. I have to ask the DM if I can make that leap or not. There's these weird 3 foot tall looking, like super mutant looking dudes that are kind of walking around too. They were definitely different and kind of stand out. It's like they didn't look like they'd like quite a member of our species or anything. We get to our room. There's 6 doors each of our rooms. I just take the first on the right. We get showered, cleaned up real quick, put on the clothes. Our clothes have a giant target on them, which is really reassuring. We get more people staring at us. We learned that there's 100,000 people here, and that 23 people were infected, all under the age of 11, which is like completely blows so many of our theories out of the water. What we're walking into and everything like that. Like this is such an isolated incident. It's crazy that they're making like this international thing out of it. Yeah, so that's definitely something to think about. We have some blood work done to, you know, we come from a different area of the world, so there's a chance we're like bringing in outside diseases and stuff like that. So they want to make sure that we're clean. We go through decontamination, all that kind of stuff, and then the session ends with getting to a conference room. There's a young male there, agent-like features, and his name is Aramis. I believe he is going to be the magnate or something like that. But he's a younger guy. He's about my age. So that's where we ended the session. It was basically getting to where we're going, finding out this huge mystery, getting this huge underground thing that's kind of shattering our expectations of what we're going to be here for. Thinking, why the heck did I bring in Miriam at this point? Because it seems like it's not like some third world dump where you have to worry about some doctor treating things well. But Miriam's still capable in his own right, so it'll be okay. But yeah, that's where I left off. Alright.